So I thought that was a bit racist coming from these police officers. That's what I thought. Are you still a practicing Muslim? What does it matter? I thought I was in the UK. On a Sunday early morning to arrest me, put me in prison for 15 hours. Pakistani community attacking me, giving me death threats, which police have refused to take any action against them.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Nick Talks. This episode's amazing guest, returning guest, is Shoaib Sahel. How are you doing?
Hello, hi Nick. Thank you very much for having me again. I'm doing very well, thank you. How about you? How are you with everything that's going on?
Well, I'm good. I keep having fantastic conversations with fantastic people, so I'm actually okay. We spoke a couple of months ago. You told us about your journey to the UK, your life in the UK, and the fact as an Asian Muslim man, you're being accused of being a racist by other Asian Muslim men, and the mosque. Police are involved. The police have turned up to your house. I think it was a terrorist police turned up at your house. And we couldn't get into that last time because it was still an open case. And of course, you were being very careful, and so you should. But I believe all that has now been finalized. You can talk about it. I've seen the video you posted with the two terror police sat on your settee in your house having a friendly. You've not done anything wrong. You've not done anything wrong, but we're still sat in your house to tell you we're watching you. I mean, it wasn't as bad as that, but that was the underlining message. What's going on?
So obviously last time, like I said, I couldn't discuss it because I wasn't sure if I was allowed to. And that was only because my lawyers have told me, even though that was a video that I recorded, even though Prevent was recording as well, I could have released it before, but and I did in some places, but I couldn't get into more details exactly what's going on. So what I've done now, obviously there were three parts of that video. The first one was them telling me that how racist the white people are, even though they both were white police officers. Yeah, they were both white, and they were just couldn't they wouldn't let me have an opinion. So basically, this is my understanding now.
Let me jump in there before we get to that. Give me a 2-3 minute roundup of why they were in your house in the first place. What had gone on to get them involved in your life?
All right. Yeah, sure. So basically, the whole reason for Prevent Police, terrorist police, to visit me, according to them, was that I have been mass reported by the Muslim community. They wouldn't say the Muslim community, but I did say to them within the video, I said, I know who these people are who've reported me. And the reason why I got reported to the Prevent and the police and the Home Office was because I was attending these Tommy Robinson's marches. I was going around doing my own research. Like I said, I knew of Tommy Robinson, but I had never had an opinion. I never liked him or I never hated him. He was just a human being like everybody else is. So when people from my own community start forcing me to believe that he's a racist, see, I've got a brain and I like to do my own research. And that's what I did. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my research rather than just following the crowd, be a sheep. When I did my research, I realized he's not racist. And therefore, the white people, according to my own community, who follows him, who believes in his message, and who've got similar problems and similar concern that he's got, are all deemed racist. So I thought the best way to find out if the white people are racist or not, to turn up to one of the marches and see it for myself, and which I did. When I seen the people were not racist, everybody welcomed me. Everybody, yes, they asked me questions, how did you got here? Like, my story and everything. People were very supportive. And these were the same white people that I've been told from my community again and again that they will deport me, that they don't like the way I look, they don't like the way I sound and my accent and all that. But unfortunately for them, I didn't see none of that. So I got back, and that was back in October when Tommy Robinson was in prison and we went to his march. I came back and I just put this, the thing that I've just told you, I put it on my X account and I just released it. To my surprise, the next day I woke up and it had been shared more than like 20,000-30,000 people. And, I got followers and people were commenting under it and they were saying things. So I think the Muslim community have seen it. So what has happened? Their narrative about all white people being racist have been broken down by an immigrant. Because if according to them, if the white people are racist, to them, people who were born raised in the UK who spoke English, probably the same way as you speak with your accent, and then you got somebody like me, an immigrant. if that was the case, then I should be their first target. But unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. It did not happen. Like I said, I've been living here for 10 years, Nick. I've been here as a student since 2008. Then I've been here working since 2018, and I have never left the country since 2018. I've always been here legally. I came here through a process on a visa to work in this country, which I have always been. So, anyways, so the Prevent Police were set there. And I think this is the main point for them was. So according to them, if you're a Pakistani, which, like I said, this is now my understanding of them turning up to my house, because they won't tell me clearly why is it that they're there, other than saying, oh, we are worried about you, that you are being radicalized by the far right, whatever that means, right? And I made a joke to them while they were saying, because see, look, man, I'm not a criminal. I never had any issues with the police. So I respected the British police and the British justice system as an immigrant coming from a third world country. I used to put police up here on the highest level as possible, the British police. So I was being friendly to them. I invited them inside. I asked them for coffee, for tea, for biscuits, water, everything. And for them, and they said to me, oh, we are worried that you're being radicalized by the far right. So I made a joke and I said, oh, I thought that was the mosque job. And I didn't realize me just saying that, well, given that basically that was a statement, because they start recording me instantly. And the moment I said that, they start recording me, and I thought for myself for a minute. I was like, oh, but it was just a joke, I am a Muslim, so I'm just joking. But unfortunately, it wasn't a joke. They have reported that, saying that how I think. So it's starting off from saying, why do you go and attend Tommy Robinson's marches? Why do you go into these rallies? And now this is my understanding, Nick. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. So what I understood, because I am a brown Pakistani immigrant, I should stay in my lane, which is the white people are racist. Tommy Robinson is a racist. Everybody who's concerned about their daughters, their women being raped by these Pakistani men, they are racist. But because I say something else, and when people keep telling me, oh, the people on the far right, supposedly whatever far right is, are racist, but I thought the police officers were racist, because they were telling me as a Pakistani man, guess what? You cannot have that brain power. You cannot have that brain cells where you can think for yourself. Why is it that you're thinking for yourself and not following the crowd like every other Pakistani man? So I thought that was a bit racist coming from these police officers. That's what I thought. And eventually they started off by asking me these things, and then when I start replying to them and I start giving them facts, see, I like to speak on facts, on my lived experience of the things that I know. If there is something I don't have no knowledge of, I will never speak on it unless I go back and do my own research, which I've done almost all the time. So then, because they didn't have anything else to speak to me about, they literally start asking me, oh, what is your religion then? Are you still a practicing Muslim? What does it matter? I thought I was in the UK. If I practice or not practice, if I call myself a Muslim and I don't pray, or if I call myself a Muslim, I still drink, I still eat whatever the hell I want to eat. Who are the police to ask me? They're not the religious police. But unfortunately, it came across that they were trying to find something on me. They were like, there's no way that this guy who calls himself a Muslim and talking about his own community and saying that there is a problem within the Muslim Pakistani man community, there is a huge problem. There is something off. We need to find out. And they kept telling me that I'm being radicalized. They kept asking, do you still pray? What? What does it matter? If I pray or not, what? Why, are you going to pray with me? Is that what you're asking me? Why would you ask me? It's such a nonsense question coming from them. And I was actually surprised. So that's why I am so glad that I recorded that interaction that I had with them. It actually was my wife sat there. And the worst part of it is, Nick, my wife is white Welsh from the valleys in Wales. And what they tried to do then, because they couldn't get anything out of me, that's how stupid these two police officers were, that me, an immigrant, were schooling them on things that they believe was not happening in their country. And I've only been here 10 years and they've been here their whole life. So if I know it, I'm sure they know it is happening. But they were hoping, because me as a Pakistani, I would shut my mouth and be like, oh, you know what, you're right. You've turned up here. I'm intimidated. Please leave me, police officer. I'm not going to say anything. But I didn't stop. So they turned themselves to my wife. And then they start asking my wife, so he does all these things. Do you support him? And I looked at my wife and I said, don't answer that. But my wife, like I said, she's Welsh. She didn't listen to me. She kept answering. She kept, oh, I support him. And I was like, she supports me because she is my wife. Does she have a say on the things that I say online? Nobody have. It's my opinions. And they're not opinions. They are facts, because I live these things. I'm a lived experience. But they kept turning to her. And that's when I said to the police officer, I said, look, man, you know what? I get it. but you have to stop talking to my wife now. Like, she's not gonna. And I said to my wife very strictly, and I said, you're not gonna reply to them because these people are here. More than me, I'm worried about you because you're white. They will arrest you for some nonsense reason. I won't be able to help you. So, let me deal with it. But how wrong I was that to think that they could have arrested my wife because she was white. They actually next day turned up to arrest me. So what they've done, they made this whole case where I was saying things that they were not expecting me to say, and they were, like you said, came to my house very friendly. Oh, and they kept telling me, they were there for almost 2 hours in my house, and they kept telling me, we are worried that you might cross a line. And I kept asking the police officer till he was leaving my house, what is the line? What is the line that you don't want me to cross? It was like they were playing games with me. They did not know what the line was themselves, but they kept telling me, oh, don't cross that line. Don't cross that line. And I kept asking him, please tell me what is that line, because I don't want to cross it. I'm a law-abiding citizen, been in the country for more than 10 years. I don't have a criminal record. I don't have as much as a speeding ticket. That's how much I live by the book, you know? And if there are things happening in the UK, like, like the 20-mile speed limit, I know people from the country don't agree with it. I never had to say I agree or disagree. It's irrelevant because I'm an immigrant. I will live by the rules which are in the books, which are already been settled. If there are rules that needs to be changing, it's up to people like you, Nick, because this is your country, right? This is your country, and you should be the one to decide. And for me, as an immigrant, no matter how long I live there, even if I die in this country, for me, at the end of the day, I will always consider myself as an immigrant, as somebody who came here, who's grateful to be in this country for everything that this country and the people of this country has given me. And that's it for me. So that's all I always do. But for them to come next day on a Sunday early morning to arrest me, put me in prison for 15 hours. I was locked up for 15 hours. I couldn't believe it. I went
Let me jump in there. So I want to clarify this. So the recording of 2 hours of them talking to you, that was the day before. So they spoke to you for 2 hours. You answered all their questions. You had discussions with them. The next morning, they turn up and arrested you. And what was the charge? What did he arrest you for?
it was a hate crime being so the police lied to me when they came to my house. So they were outside. I had a ring doorbell, and it was a Sunday morning, and I was asleep. So half asleep, I see these two police officers ringing my doorbell. So I spoke to them through the camera, and I said to them, "Why is it that you're here for? Do you want to?" They said, "Oh, I just want to speak to you. Can we come in?" But because, like I said, I'm not a criminal, I let them in. And the moment I let them in, and I was holding my phone. I was holding my phone like that. He literally, one of the police officers snatched the phone off me. Another one grabbed me by it, and they were like, "Oh, we're arresting you." And I said, "Arresting me for what?" They said, "Oh, you called someone a terrorist or not." I said, "You know what? I am an immigrant. English is not my first language, but I am very careful with the words that I use. I don't swear at people. I don't call people these names and these things. No, I will never ever call. I don't even call people terrorist support. I don't do these things because these are childish things. Labeling people, naming people. So that's a lie, and there was a lie because when they arrested me in the house, they took me in the van, and when they took me to the police station, they told me that I was being arrested for a hate crime towards the Muslim community because I'm a racist towards the Muslim. And that time, I was just shocked. And I'm not going to lie, I was so scared, Nick, because I did not know what was going on. Because the charges that they were bringing up against me, I thought it was just made up charges. And if they can make up nonsense charges, what else are they capable of doing it? So yes, the whole time I was in there, in custody, basically, it's like a before prison is custody. So when I was in custody, there were two cells on my other side. And what happened is that there was somebody on the next door. They were banging. So I slept for like maybe 1 or 2 hours. I was shaking. I was scared. It wasn't a good day for me. So all of a sudden, I was woken up by screams and shout next door. Well, next jail cell, somebody was banging on the door and everything, and I got really scared. I'm not used to these things. I'm 38. Anybody will be scared in that situation because you don't know what's going on. But there were two jailers that I won't like to name because I don't want to bring them in any sort of problem or questions. So there was one lady who kept coming back and forth, and she kept telling me, "Look, you need to eat something." And I was like, "I can't eat. You think I'm gonna eat? I can't eat. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here." So, and then I said to her that I'm scared that there are prisoners on either side and they're making so much noises. Do you know what she said to me? She literally get this close to me, and she was passing me a chocolate, and she said to me that there is nobody on either side. It is the police officers trying to scare you. So this is the tactic that I never knew that the police play in the UK. I'm sure people like you that talk to so many police officers who know maybe police officer and the people in the jail. So this is that. See, if I was a criminal, that tactic, perfect. I'm not a criminal. I'm a law-abiding citizen. My record is clean. So why did they did that to me? I had PTSD since then. Every time a van pulls up outside my house, I can't sleep. I haven't slept properly in a very long time, Nick. I can't sleep, man. I can't sleep. I'm up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. And to think that I'm a law-abiding citizen, this is what I'm going through. How crazy is that?
So they interviewed you, they then bailed you. What's happened since they bailed you?
So since when they bailed me out, I took the what do you call it, the lawyers that was provided by the state basically, and they bailed me. They still got my phone. They keep trying to get in and out of my ex account, and since then, the lawyers that I spoke with, they said to me, "Oh, you know what? It's all going to get thrown out. Don't worry about it." But now, unfortunately, very recently, I've been called to the police station again, and they've told me that this case has gone through to the CPS, which means that they are looking to charge me. And like I said, how crazy is that? They just made up something. And my lawyer said to me, so now I'm looking to get a private lawyer, because the lawyer that I've got, the first thing, this is the thing that I don't understand. The lawyer said to me, "Oh, why would you say these things online?" And I was like, "What do you mean why? You're my lawyer. You're not my school teacher. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. You're not here to tell me why did I do it. I've done it. We can't go in the past and change it. And I don't know what do you mean why did I do it, because I've been through it. All I've done is talk about." So see, I've been talking about my experience, but you have the Pakistani community attacking me, giving me death threats, which police have refused to take any action against them, because they're not sure where these death threats are coming from, even though I've given them a screenshot. I've given them more than 1,300 screenshots of death threats directly pointed at me, saying that if they see me anywhere in London, they will beat me up. Somebody needs to find me and sort me out. And we have seen what happened in Manchester Synagogue a couple of weeks ago, right? We have seen what happened in Uxbridge just a day ago, and you're still telling me that these death threats are not dangerous enough. You speak to people like what's his name, Norm, is the ex-Muslim. Yeah, you speak to people like this. You speak to people like Nuria, right? Nuria is a very good friend of mine, and we understand the threat that we get, but we never knew. Even like, look, I'm still a Muslim, Nuria an ex-Muslim, but we are very good friends. And on top of that, people like me and Nuria never thought that we come into the UK, a West that we thought is so safe for us because it's not a Muslim country. Unfortunately, while it still is not a Muslim country, but the laws that you have got in the UK are unfortunately are Muslim laws. If I'm going to be charged on the basis of me saying things against my own religion, it shows that there is some sort of Sharia present within the British justice system. Because, yeah,
There's a very good chance this case may have gone to the CPS, but the CPS make the final judgment. So I'm not sure what the odds are, but there is a chance the CPS look at this case and go, "We're not proceeding with this," because we've had similar cases recently where the courts have said this never should have come to court. And we've had the appeal of the guy who was burning his own Quran outside the Turkish embassy, so that he's won that on appeal. So the chance it won't get to court. But regardless of that, the punishment is the process. You're being punished, even if it never gets to court. This is the punishment: is your lack of sleep, your nervousness, being afraid. Yeah, that's all the punishment to make you shut your mouth, even if it never gets to court. Whatever you post now, I'm sure whatever you post now, you think 2 or 3 times now before you post it. And that's exactly what they wanted to do. So you're still on bail. You've still probably got bail conditions. You're waiting for the CPS to make a decision. What made you now say, "I'm releasing that video and I'm going to talk about this stuff"?
So when I spoke to my lawyers, so like I said, the lawyers that I've got, they're not very useful. They're not really good. But I have had a meeting with somebody that I know through someone. So they are lawyers, but they can't take up my case because they're different kind of lawyers. So they have read through my bail condition, and in bail condition, it's very clear that there are few things I cannot talk about. But this video was 100% okay for me to release and speak on it, because the thing is, you're not making things up. If it was a video that I never recorded and I was saying this, I'm sure the police would have arrested me. But the problem is now with the police, the video is out there. What they're going to record me for? Me just repeating what I just said in the video? Like, you can't. So, and that guy said, this was such a good move on my part, but I never knew that I'll be using the video. I just recorded it because I thought, maybe I get some content out of it. I didn't know what they were there for. But you won't believe, and a lot of people have said to me under the video, a lot of good people who supported me, and they said to me, you should have never let them in. And I said, you're right. I should have never let them in. But guess what? If I wouldn't have let them in, we would not know how crazy the UK has gone. Yes, UK has gone crazy. We can see it. But for them to turn up at a Muslim Pakistani man's house, criticizing the Muslim Pakistani men raping the British white women and children, and telling me that, I am wrong. What? How is it that I'm wrong? The cases are there, the files are there, the evidence is there. You can't tell me I'm wrong. And I'm not talking about, because somebody said. I'm talking about what has happened to me as well. And you know what? Since then, since last year, I've lost my job, Nick. And I think last time we spoke a couple of months ago, I was very hopeful. I was still very positive. But unfortunately, after that, I have gotten an email from the Swansea Council where I used to work, and they have told me that indefinitely, because of my views, they will not give me a job. And it's been 1 year I've been jobless, and as a legal citizen in the UK, I don't get any state benefit, which is fine. I never wanted the state benefits. In fact, I am the only guy that I know who have emailed the Home Office 3 years ago, letting them know, because I was seeing a lot of illegals and asylum seekers come in, and I could see there was a stress on the public funds, basically the universal credit and everything. So I emailed the Home Office and I said to them, whenever I do get my indefinite leave to remain, which is when you are in the country, and and I said, if I were to get my indefinite leave to remain, I just want you to take this email as a proof that I don't want nothing to do with your benefit system. I want to be an asset to the country. I don't want to be a liability. No matter whatever happens, I don't need your benefit. And can you please record this email as a proof? I never got in a reply back from them, but this is me. Like, I have never heard anybody, I don't know if you have heard anybody who have actually emailed the Home Office saying that, I don't want your public benefit. I'm more than happy to pay in. But since then, I've lost my job. My savings have run dry. My I feel very down. I live in Swansea, a small area. I just got this house the day when I lost my job, which was last year in October. 1 year, first time in my whole life I've been jobless. This is the first time. This was the first month where I was just unable to pay any of my bills, and I have to give some credit to my wife. Well, a lot of credit to my wife, who is from this country, and she is suffering because of me. Because she gets universal credit, but because I am the third person living with them, and as a family we support each other. It's when they pay her for her and her special needs daughter, which is my daughter as well, but when they do that, they do exclude me. And with the money that we have got, it doesn't help anybody anyways. But it's just they have put me in a situation where I am, day by day, my motivation is going down. It has gone down. It's just I don't feel the same way I used to feel. I've ended up selling a lot of my personal belongings, which I have worked very hard for. My watches, my shoes, some of my clothes, branded clothes, I had to sell. So it's not I'm not feeling very good. And now today I've received an email from the Home Office, because my application is with the Home Office for extension on my visa. And they have not rejected it, but they have told me that they will be taking a lot longer and they need more proof. I get it if they need more proof from a person who has not been in the country for longer than a couple of years. I get it. I've been here 10 years. They have everything on the record. I've never left the country. So we have got this Afghan asylum seeker who came in the UK illegally in 2020 and was granted his asylum. He was given indefinite leave to remain in 2020 in 2 years. And then he goes out and he kills and stabs an innocent man who's walking his dog, absolutely doing nothing, and kill him, right? And this guy was given the right to live in the UK. Why? Where is their due diligence of the Home Office? You got a guy like me who's been waiting for my visa for 3 months now. I've been without a visa. I'm not illegal, but I am under investigation, and I am just waiting for so you got a guy like me who's married to a white Welsh woman, right? And we have been married for 6 years. I've been in the country for 10 years, and the Home Office have emailed me today. Oh, well, unfortunately, we cannot give you a decision. Guess what? Because we need to do more. And I know what it is. It is the Muslim community. It is the Muslim people within the Home Office who see what I do, and they're like, you know what, this guy, he's dangerous. Yeah, you got the rapist there, fine. You know why they're fine? Because they're not attacking us. They're attacking the white people. That's the game. Let them attack the white women and children. That's fine. But this guy who speak against us, the Pakistani people, how dare he? How dare he does that? Deport this guy. And the first thing.
Absolutely. And what's happened now is the Home Office, there'll be a link from your case now to prevent. So that's a red flag. You've been arrested for hate crime. That's a red flag. So now it's going to take longer and longer and longer now for them to look at your case, and they're going to want all sorts of information. I have no idea what they want, but it's going to be harder and harder. Again, this is part of the punishment. This is part of the punishment.
So it's been 3 months. It's been 3 months already. I'm waiting. And like I said, I can't work now because imagine if you were running a business and I come to you for a job, you will say, look, I can't give you a job because we don't know, we train you and everything, and they reject your visa. What were you going to do now? We have wasted money.
Yeah. You're unemployed.
No income, zero.
Yeah, you're unemployable at the moment until you get a work visa. And if no one can take you on without a work visa, because it's a £2,000-3,000 fine for the company. It's up to 50,000 now. So I mean, it's a big fine. And to round this off, what it looked like to me is those two prevent officers were sat in your house and they were saying to you, you're the wrong type of Pakistani. You're the wrong type of brown person. You're the wrong type of Muslim, because we know what the right ones look like because they're the ones who tell us what to do. You're just wrong on every level of being brown, being Muslim, being Pakistani. Therefore, you must be mentally ill. Therefore, that's why we're here, because mentally ill people commit terrorist acts. And the fact you're giving us this information means we think you're a potential right-wing terrorist, because how can you hate your community? That's what they were basically saying and listening to you. It was a disgraceful performance by those two officers.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it is. But unfortunately, what we are seeing now, and what happened in Uxbridge, when a 49-year-old white, a father, a very good, a member of the community, you could see that by the community coming out and paying him visit. Then the reason why I want to talk about the Uxbridge thing very briefly is because I lived in that area. I went to Brunel University for 5 years of my life. I technically grew up mentally in that place. And when I've seen what has happened there, and that place is literally 7 minutes away from the university that I went to, Brunel University. And I used to be there. Like I said, I was there from 2010 and 2015. My younger brother went there as well. And it was one of the most safest and one of the most amazing student area, as well as we had people living there. It was one of the best communities that we had. Unfortunately, what has happened? So what is it that has happened? And I dread going back to that. Like, I have very good memories of Uxbridge. And I do dread now when, sometimes you feel like, oh, I want to go back to that area. I want to visit. I'll take my wife there, show her the university I went to, and, the things that we did. I feel like if I go there, it's going to be nothing else but sadness, which unfortunately is everywhere you look in the UK right now. Is sadness, depression, anxiety. And I know there is a lot of concerns, and I have actually I went to the UKIP rally a couple of on Saturday last week, and I was there. I support Advance UK, like I'm full-fledged Advance UK member, but I went there to support because Nick Tenconi did a post where he said we do not see any Muslims coming out and supporting them, and I went there to show my support all the way from Wales, and I was the only one Pakistani Muslim there. But when I went there, I did the interview with Nick, and I let him know as well. But there were a lot of people there, and now this is what I am scared of, right? So when I was there were a lot of people who were actually right wingers who looked at me and they were like, oh, you know what? Why are you here? And I did an interview with a guy, and that guy was very he wasn't rude to me. He was very straightforward, which is fine. He wasn't rude to me at all. He did an interview with me, and at the end of the video, his interview, he said, oh, he's a nice guy, but guess what? We'll be deporting him as well. And I looked at him and I said, oh, so are you guys the remigration? And he said, yeah. And I said, look, man, you know what? I've been here 10 years. I've been given nothing but kindness and love by your people and probably people like you. And I can see you're not rude to me. You are nothing but, you're not rude to me. You're kind to me because you spoke to me. You listened to what I had to say. You didn't swear at me. You didn't say anything to me. So you know what? You have all the right, because, and this is what I stand on now, Nick. If the good people and the majority of the white British people were to tell me today that we love you, Shoaib, we see what you do, we like it, but at the end of the day, we need to take our country back, and for that, you and people like you have to go, I will pack up and leave. Do I have a plan B? No, I don't have a plan B. Do I love the UK more than any other country? Yes, for me, UK is my home. But unfortunately, with everything that my own community has done, I will never ever blame these people. And I know people are calling for my deportation because the way I look, because of my religion, culture, and I'm fine with it because it has never happened before. It is only happening now, and this is the incompetency of the British police, the British justice system, that people are this angry that no matter what I do right now, I can die for this country. They'll be like, deport this guy. But this is the problem that has created by my own community. I'm not going to stand here and I'm not going to judge the white people, because the white British people have been nothing but kind to me throughout my stay in the UK. And even now, there are so many people. So when I say this, I stand on it. And if there were the white British people come and say, you know what, man, we had enough of the Pakistani, we had enough of the Muslim, you need to pack up and leave, I will leave. Do I know where I'm going to go? No. Do I want to go back to Pakistan? No, because the thing that I'm doing, they probably kill me the time I arrive in Pakistan. They will shoot me dead. So I don't want to do that. But my love for this country, my loyalty to this country, to a point where I'm more than happy to destroy my own self, which I have been doing, getting destroyed by the police, by the Muslim community and everybody else. But yeah, this is where I am. And I think a very bad time is coming. And
a bad time is coming, and I've been saying to the Muslim community and to all the migrant communities for many years now, you need to do more, because when the bad times come, no one's going to be able to identify who the good immigrants are and who the bad immigrants are, and you're all going to get castigated together. Now, this is going to be a nuanced discussion for another day, but mass migration is going to happen. There's going to be mass deportations. We're never going to get the country the way it was 50 years ago with hardly any immigration. We're not going to go back to those times. It's impossible. So we need to work out a strategy of how we get rid of new arrivals, how we get rid of criminals, foreign criminals, people we don't want here. And then there has to be discussions about people who have come here legally, made it their home, contribute, haven't broken a law. And there's discussions about how then do we integrate those people into the country. But that's a discussion for another day. Shoaib, thank you so much for coming back on the channel. I'm glad you've released that video. I'm glad you're still speaking out. I'm glad that the persecution hasn't turned you into a coward and hasn't silenced you, because that's what they want. They want you to be scared and want you to be silent, but that's just not in your nature, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I try my best, and like I said, I've lost everything. Nick, I don't think there's anything left, because at the end of the day, when people tell me what about the white people who want to deport you, I tell them, look, I'm not worried about them. I'm more worried about my own community, because they cannot wait for me to be deported. They will celebrate if I were to get deported, and I know they're working very hard around the clock to make sure that I'm gone out of the country. But I'm going to give them a fight before I go. But as I said, I will not. The only people that I will not put up a fight with will be the white British people. If they were to ask me to leave, I'll be more than happy to go. But when it's the ethnic minorities going to ask me to leave, I'm going to put up a very big fight. Don't worry about that.
Well, hopefully you never leave. Thanks for coming back on the channel, and we'll do this again soon.
Thank you.